Speed Racer is a young boy deeply fascinated with car racing, showing little interest in his academic pursuits or any other activities besides racing. He looks up to his older brother Rex, a professional racer, frequently requesting to join him at the racetrack. Upon reaching the age of 18, Speed begins to compete in races, marking a period filled with numerous changes. His circle of supporters includes his father, affectionately known as Pops, his mother, his younger brother Spratelaw, their pet monkey Chim Chim, the mechanic Sparky, and his childhood friend Trixie. A flashback to Speed Racer's childhood reveals a day when he brings Trixie to his home to see his father's collection of cars. During this visit, an assailant attempts to harm them with a bomb hidden in a gift box, but Rex quickly disposes of it just moments before it detonates. A few days later, Rex announces his decision to leave the family home. He entrusts Speed with the keys to his racing car, the Mach 5, and cautions him against believing any negative rumors that might circulate about him. After gathering his belongings, Rex steps outside and informs his father, Pops, of his decision to quit racing. Despite Pops' efforts to persuade him to stay, Rex remains resolute, expressing his desire to live life on his own terms. Subsequently, Speed learns through a news update that Rex has been accused of executing an illegal maneuver during a race, leading to his disqualification. Amidst the turmoil surrounding Rex's case and subsequent tragic demise in a car crash at the Casa Cristo rally, Speed Racer's profile as an up-and-coming racing talent draws the attention of many in the industry. During a family gathering at the dining table for breakfast, E.P. Royalton, the owner of Royalton Industries, makes a grand entrance with a lucrative proposal. He offers Speed the opportunity to join his racing team, promising substantial monetary rewards, fame, and a lavish lifestyle. Pops, however, reminds him of their tradition of competing as independent racers. To sway their decision, Royalton invites the family to his car manufacturing facility, where they witness an impressively efficient operation capable of producing a car in just 36 hours. The visit also includes a tour of his training area, designed to prepare drivers for the rigors of racing. Here, Speed is introduced to Cannonball Taylor, a renowned racer whose skills greatly impress him. Taylor encourages Speed to join the team, highlighting that he has yet to make his decision. Royalton attempts to persuade Pops, but Pops leaves the final decision to Speed, assuring him of his unwavering support regardless of the path he chooses. While Speed is contemplating Royalton's attractive proposal elsewhere, a fellow racer named Taiho finds himself in a perilous situation, being tortured by a gang inside a truck. In the midst of this chaos, a masked racer intervenes, rescuing Taiho and suggesting that he seek assistance to combat his adversaries. However, Taiho stubbornly refuses the offer of help. Back with Speed and his circle, the topic of Royalton's offer sparks a conversation. Trixie, curious about Speed's intentions, inquires about his plans. Speed reveals that he's seriously considering joining Royalton's team, recognizing their impressive record and the potential benefits for his career. Despite his usual indifference to winning or losing, Speed acknowledges the importance of this opportunity for his future in racing. When Speed meets with Royalton again, the industrialist emphasizes the transformative impact the deal could have on Speed's family. Speed, however, is torn. He explains that racing is more than a sport for him and his father. It's a fundamental part of their lives. The loss of Rex was a significant blow, but it hasn't diminished their passion for racing. He highlights Pop's view of racing as almost a sacred pursuit, one that should remain untainted by corporate affiliations. Due to these deeply held beliefs, Speed concludes that he cannot accept Royalton's offer. Upon hearing Speed's refusal, Royalton reacts with anger and frustration, revealing to Speed a hidden reality of the racing world. He claims that the Grand Prix is manipulated by corporations for profit, emphasizing that the industry is driven more by power and money than the sport itself. Despite repeating his tempting offer, Speed stands firm in his decision and departs. Royalton, infuriated by this rejection, retaliates by orchestrating a crash during one of Speed's races, resulting in the destruction of Speed's cherished Mach 6. Following the race, Pops is blindsided by a court notice alleging that his company, Motor Racers, has violated intellectual property rights. Speed, realizing the connection to Royalton's earlier threats, understands that Royalton is orchestrating these troubles in response to his refusal. Speed's mother learns of his distress and attempts to console him, reminiscing about Rex and expressing pride in both brothers. She reassures Speed that they will find a way through these challenges, emphasizing the importance of family unity. In a surprising turn of events, the following day brings the enigmatic Racer X to their doorstep, accompanied by Inspector Detector, the head of a corporate crime division within an intelligence agency. This unexpected visit marks a new chapter in Speed's tumultuous journey in the racing world. Upon learning of the opportunity to expose Royalton's illegal activities, Racer X and Speed are approached by Inspector Detector with a proposal. Taiho Togokan, another racer, holds evidence that could incriminate Royalton, but he agrees to share it only if Speed and Racer X join his team for the Casa Cristo Rally. This rally is significant for Speed's family, as it was the event where they lost Rex. Speed's parents are understandably distressed upon hearing this, with Pops adamantly refusing to let Speed race in the same rally that claimed Rex's life. Despite Inspector Detector's pleas for reconsideration, Pops remains firm in his refusal. Speed confides in Trixie about his intention to join Taiyo's team, knowing well that Pops would disapprove. His motivation is to compete in the race to defeat Royalton, who has been causing trouble for his family. Trixie, albeit hesitant, decides to support his decision and plans to accompany him. Meeting with Inspector Detector again, Speed makes it clear that his participation is solely to seek justice for his family against Royalton. Detector briefs him on the rally's dynamics, warning him of other drivers who might use secret weapons and tactics to gain an advantage. Meanwhile, Taiho's sister Haruko discusses their strategy of using Speed for their own benefit, although Taiho expresses reluctance, feeling he has no other choice. As the rally commences, Speed's younger brother Spritely discovers Speed's participation and informs Pops. Concurrently, several drivers bribed by the Fixer Cruncher block are tasked with sabotaging Speed in the race. Despite these challenges, another team manages to take the lead at the end of the first day. As the tension mounts in the Casa Cristo rally, Taiho expresses frustration with Speed and Racer X after the first day's challenges. However, they reassure him of a stronger performance in the upcoming race. Outside, Speed shares with Racer X a sense of familiarity, as if they've known each other for a long time, sparking a suspicion in Speed that Racer X might actually be his presumed deceased brother Rex. Trixie, however, is skeptical, reminding Speed that Rex was buried after his fatal crash. During their conversation, Speed is notified of his family's unexpected arrival. Pops confronts Speed about participating in the race without his consent, but Speed explains his intention to rectify the troubles facing their family. Despite Pop's disagreement and insistence that Speed return home, an argument ensues, which is diffused by their mother. She encourages Speed to complete the race so they can return home together. Speed also mentions modifications made to the Mach 5. The situation escalates when ninjas attack their team at night, attempting to incapacitate Taijo with a drug. Speed and his family valiantly defend themselves, causing the attackers to flee. With Taiho unable to drive, Trixie bravely steps in to take his place in the race. Their team gains an early lead. During a critical moment through a pass, they face an ambush by Cruncher and his gang. However, they manage to fend off the attack, leading to Cruncher's arrest by Detective Inspector. The race continues, and Speed, showcasing his extraordinary driving skills, secures a remarkable victory. As they celebrate on the victory stand, Racer X reminds Taijo of his commitment to provide evidence against Royalton, now that their part of the bargain has been fulfilled. This victory not only marks a significant milestone for Speed, but also sets the stage for a potential upheaval in the racing world's corrupt dynamics. Upon discovering that Taiho used them to inflate his business's stock prices for his own gain, particularly benefiting from Royalton's buyouts, Speed feels deeply betrayed. In his frustration, he heads to a familiar racetrack he often visited with Rex. There, Racer X appears and challenges him to a quick race. After the race, Speed confronts Racer X, urging him to reveal his true identity as Rex. However, the revelation is not what Speed expects. Racer X removes his mask, revealing that he is not Rex, and confirms that Rex truly died in the car crash. He assures Speed that Rex would be proud of him for striving to make a difference in the racing world. Disheartened, Speed questions the point of continuing to race if nothing will change. Racer X counsels Speed to stay true to himself, suggesting that this is what truly matters. He leaves Speed to ponder his own reasons for racing. As Speed prepares to leave, Pops intervenes, expressing his pride in Speed for standing up for what he believed was right. Pops also shares his own regrets about prioritizing his business over Rex, still haunted by that decision. In a surprising turn of events, Haruko arrives to apologize for their actions and offers Speed Taijo's rejected invitation to the Grand Prix, urging him to compete. This gesture inspires the family to unite and build a new racing car in a record time of just 32 hours. Meanwhile, the plot thickens as Taijo aligns himself with Royalton and his partners, setting the stage for an intense and dramatic showdown at the Grand Prix. In an exhilarating finale at the Grand Prix, Speed Racer, accompanied by his supportive family, seeks permission to join the race. Inspector Detector plays a crucial role by informing the officials that denying Speed's participation could lead to a suspension of the race pending a full investigation. Faced with this dilemma, the officials reluctantly allow Speed to compete. Royalton, desperate to eliminate Speed from the race, offers a staggering $1 million bounty to any driver who can force him off the track. This lucrative offer intensifies the competition, with drivers eagerly vying for the prize and aggressively targeting Speed. Despite these challenges, Speed skillfully gains the lead, engaging in a fierce duel with Royalton's top driver, Cannonball Tyler. In a critical moment, Tyler employs a spear hook to latch onto Mach 5, but Speed ingeniously uses his jump jacks to reveal the device to the cameras, resulting in Tyler's car crashing and exposing Royalton's cheating tactics. Speed's triumph is not just on the racetrack. He also exposes the corruption plaguing the sport, winning the race by a significant margin. As he is celebrated by the crowd, Racer X, revealed to be Rex, who had faked his death and undergone plastic surgery, watches on with pride. Despite his true identity, he chooses to keep it hidden, believing his family has moved on. The scene is jubilant as Speed's family and Trixie surround him in celebration of his victory, culminating in a heartfelt kiss between Speed and Trixie. In a final act of justice, Taijo testifies against Royalton, leading to the latter's incarceration for his crimes, and thus concludes the thrilling and heartwarming tale of Speed Racer, a story of family, integrity, and the relentless pursuit of truth in the face of adversity. Thank you.